First, I want you all to picture this. A teenager sits at their desk, surrounded by textbooks and glowing screens. On the outside, they look fine, maybe even great, but on the inside, they are exhausted. Not the I stayed up too late kind of tired, but that kind that sleep can't fix. They used to be full of energy, jokes, and curiosity. Now, even getting out of bed feels impossible. And this is depression. Today, in many regions, it's still not always loud. In fact, more often than not, it's silent. We tend to think of depression as just sadness, but it's so much more than that. It's a loss of interest in the things you once loved. It's being surrounded by people and still feeling alone. It's questioning your worth, even when everything on the outside seems okay. And for teenagers who are already navigating relationships, identity, grades, expectations, the weight of depression can be crushing. According to recent studies, 1 in 5 teens struggles with depression symptoms. But here's the scary part. Many don't even realize this, and even more don't talk about it. Because when you're young, it's easy to think, maybe I'm just being dramatic, maybe I'm just tired, and maybe it's just stress. But sometimes it's not stress. It's a mental condition, it's a mental illness, and it needs our attention. This is why I wanted to understand teenager mental health in a more meaningful way, not just through headlines or clinical papers, but by listening directly to students themselves. So I created a small 2-week study with high schoolers from grade 9 through 12. My goal wasn't producing sweeping conclusions, but to get a closer look at how daily habits like sleep, workload, and screen time actually affected under the depression among the teenager group. Each day, the participants filled out short surveys tracking their emotional state and routine. The results didn't surprise me, but they stayed with me. Students in grade 11 and grade 12 consistently reported higher levels of stress and mental exhaustion. Many were sleeping under 6 hours a night, and over the 2/3 mentioned feeling drained before their day even starts. And across the board, the most common emotion that surfaced was a quiet, persistent sense of being overwhelmed. This research didn't aim to be groundbreaking, but it gave me something more valuable. A glimpse into what so many students are silently navigating. Behind every data point was a real person doing their best to cope with the world that rarely pauses to ask how they're doing. And what struck me wasn't just the data, it was how normal it all seemed to them. Like feeling hopeless was just part of growing up. But depression isn't just a phase. It's not a weakness, and it doesn't just go away. It affects how we eat, sleep, think, and connect. It lowers our academic performance, it pulls people away from friendships, it increases the risk of substance use and even suicide. And the longer it goes untreated, the harder it becomes to pull someone out of that darkness. Worse still, stigma often keeps teenagers from asking for help. They are afraid of being judged, they're afraid of being toughened up, or being labeled as broken. But the truth is, depression doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care about your grades, your popularity, your background, or your strength. It can affect anyone. So, how do we fight something we can't always see? We start by becoming light switches. Think of it this way. Depression lives in shadows. It thrives in silence, in isolation, in the quiet moments when someone feels unseen. But what happens when you flick on the light? The shadows scatter. So be the light switch in someone else's life. Start small, a checking text, a genuine how are you, that you actually wait to hear the answer to. You don't need a psychology degree to care. Right now, the story many teens tell themselves is, if I'm struggling, it means I'm weak. So let's flip that. And the new story is, if I ask for help, it means I'm strong. And for schools, let's move past awareness weeks and start building the mental health in the rhythm of everyday life. What if homeroom included 5 minutes of mindfulness? What if gym class counted walks outside as part of the physical education? And what if students learn not just how to solve for X, but how to navigate anxiety? Finally, let's treat mental health like brushing your teeth. You don't wait until you have a cavity to pick up a toothbrush. Mental health should work the same way. We need daily habits that protect our minds before crisis hits. Sleep like it matters, move your body, laugh, rest, disconnect to reconnect. Depression may be invisible, but its effects are not. They are real, they're serious, but they are also treatable. And most importantly, they don't need to be permanent. The more we shine a light on depression, the less power it holds in the dark. So let's choose awareness, let's choose compassion, and let's choose listen deeply and without judgment. Because no teenager should ever feel like they're alone in the struggle. And with our help, they won't have to. Thank you.